was born in 1970 in my native place, which is called Pandharpur, which is in Maharashtra, which is somewhere like 200 kilometers from away from Pune. And I'm the first girl child in 3 generations, and I really enjoyed all my benefits of being a girl in my family. And I'm really proud to be a part of my family because I can see even those days, like I mean, even if I talk about my parents or my grandparents, and I could see that there was never a discrimination of a girl and boy, and with me and my brothers, or even like my previous generations. And that's what I said, like I was a first girl child in the 3 generations, and I have 2 elder brothers, and then before my father does not even have any sister, and my grandfather as well. So when I was a child, I was like, I really enjoyed the privileges of being a girl and getting pampered and everything. And I had my education not in one place because my father was a state government employee. So we were roaming around in the Maharashtra state in different places, starting from very small villages to little later in a city like Mumbai. And so my all the schooling education was in the different locations, and it was in my mother tongue, like it was a vernacular media. And then later on, at the sort of later part of my schooling, we were placed in Mumbai because of my father's job. And then I did all my remaining education in Mumbai University. So I passed out my 10th standard in 1985, and I got a distinction at that point of time. If you compare the marks of now this generation, which is 95 plus and above, which is called as a good for getting a admission in a decent college, whereas during my time, I could say that if you get a mark 75 and above, you were getting the admission straight through in any of the colleges. And because I liked the science, science branch, I took admission for the science side in 11th, 12th, and later on I wanted to become an engineer, especially electrical engineer, because my father was an electrical engineer, and sort of he was my always role model, and I wanted to become, but I could not get the admission. So I went for a typical like BSc admission in Mumbai, in Mulund. And then I finished my BSc with chemistry as a specialization in 1990. I finished my BSc. And then for the higher education, at that point of time, I had not really thought about what is to be done in future. But one of our college teachers, she was like really, I really appreciate her because the way she was guiding the students, and she forced all of us to give a entrance exam for MSc of IIT Bombay. And we all gave, and then two from our college, we got selected for MSc in chemistry in IIT Bombay. I also got admission for BSc Tech in UDCT at that time. But somehow I preferred to go to IIT because of the name and fame of IIT. And I completed my MSc from IIT Bombay. And then I continued for my PhD there itself. So I had cleared the exam, like NET exam there. And then I got into the PhD. And sort of like my entry to IIT was the beginning of my research career, or sort of there I decided that, okay, I want to go further for the research field, and I really went ahead. Here, just to tell you, like, chemistry, why chemistry? In fact, I would like to say that in 12th standard, when we had a prelims of our college, me and one of my friends, we were a close friend, both of us, we failed in chemistry in prelims in the college in 12th standard. But somehow our guidance from our teachers, they taught us how to study and everything. And when we had to select the specialization in second year of the BSc, me, my friend, and even our teachers, they thought that we would go for physics because really that was a subject which I liked at that point of time. But both of us, me and my friend, without knowing each other, without telling each other, we just filled up chemistry as a specialization for our last year. And when the college started, I told her, "Hey, Vishaka, I took chemistry, and then she said, oh, is it? I also did the same thing." And our teachers were a little bit disappointed. I mean, our physics teacher was a little bit disappointed. But yeah, I mean, so that's what I want to, I mean, so though and my friend also, she is a professional in chemistry research. And I also, so that's how, like, I mean, this is one of the lessons which I got, that even you fail something, you don't have to give up on that. And then now today, I'm a chemical or chemistry professional. And so after going to IIT, I got a exposure to the research, and then really I started liking it. And so I completed my MSc in 92. And then I continued for PhD there, and I finished my PhD in 1996. And the topic of my thesis was organometallic chemistry, which is one of the fundamental research. And as you know, that IITs are sort of known for fundamental research. And after my PhD, I was 2 years, I continued in IIT itself for doing my postdoctoral research. And then I got a postdoctoral opportunity in Germany with the government funding. I got a fellowship which is called as BAAG, that is given by German government. I mean, Indo-German collaborative funding, which was given by the government. And as a part of that, we had to do a German language course compulsorily for 4 months, and which I really enjoyed because it was something away or different from our typical chemistry field and the research field. But that was really good experience. And even like my colleagues back there and my professor, they also really, I mean, appreciated that because learning a language there always helps you to like mingle with the local thing and understand their culture and other things, because university people anyway speak English, so that was not a hurdle for doing our research. Then I was there for 2.5 years doing my postdoctoral research in, again, organometallic chemistry. I always wanted to come back to India and settle here because I never wanted to settle abroad. Though I had opportunity, I mean, my professor there, he had offered me a 5 years position in Germany in the university, but somehow I didn't want to continue, so I came back. And then for the research, because I did not want to go to the industry, that was not my liking. So I was looking for some research position. So NCL being very close to Mumbai, I mean, Pune being very close to Mumbai, that was my first choice. And the government gives funding for people who want to come back from abroad and want to have a fellowship till they get some permanent position. So that is called that was called as a pool officership, which is offered by CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. And I got that fellowship, and I joined under that fellowship in NCL. And after continuing there, after 2 years, I joined here as a permanent honor scientist position. One difference between my previous research and NCL research was, like, I mean, always IIT, and even when I did my postdoctoral research, it was supposed to be more of a fundamental, where we concentrated on literally understanding the concepts and basically understand the chemistry or of it. But NCL, being a part of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, you're supposed to work on something really applied chemistry and apply your knowledge to the society or industries, and which will be helpful to the general public. So this was my first experience after coming to NCL, that work on the projects or work on the research, which is really helpful to the public, may not be public in general, I mean, but at least to the industries indirectly and things like that. So it was really good experience. I mean, it took me some time, maybe at least a half a year or year, to really appreciate this difference between fundamental research and applied research after joining NCL. But that was really, I mean, after seeing people how they work, and that time we were working in the different groups, and we really appreciate that. I mean, I really started appreciating the value of applied research. And there, this is a field of catalysis, which I'm working today, is really a field of applied research. And slowly started working on this applied research, and we worked on a few industrial research. And then came like in almost 2015, where we worked on the really project of a social relevance for society, which came from a local municipal bodies. So they came to us and they approached us. So though the chemistry involved there was not a really a hi-fi research as we call it, was really a school research or like school chemistry. But really, we worked on that project for 2 years along with the Pune Municipal Corporation and Cummins India, which is under CSR, their corporate social responsibility, and two more groups from NCL, our ex-colleagues, and one more industry. And we really tried to solve the problem of a society, like where I will just briefly tell you what was the problem. Like all over India, we have different festivals we celebrate and we worship different idols, of the different gods. And then after the festivals, they are immersed in the water bodies. So typically being in Pune or Maharashtra, Ganesh festival is one of the biggest festivals. And Pune is a city where this festival was originated as a public festival around 125, 130 years back by Lokmanya Tilak. And on a small scale at least, or now even larger scale, it is celebrated in different states of India. And if you go to north, like in Bengal or something, they have a Durga Puja, where a lot of POP idols are worshipped and then they are immersed. Previously, when there was not a lot of a water problem, there was no issue. People were happily immersing it in a river or lakes or something. But now, with increase in the numbers, this was really creating a problem. And at some point of time, court had banned the immersion of idols into the water bodies. So that was a time because this was a problem for the corporations and not for the general public, because they would just give it to them and they you do whatever you have to do. So at the end of the day, they had to take a call on what is to be done. And being a god or festival, something we are a sentimental people, so the sentiments are attached to it, and they could not decide to do whatever they wanted to do, though they did not have any other option of like putting the idols in the quarry or something like that, but they had to do it something like in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock, running away from the press people and things like that. Where people don't understand the real problems or crunch which the civic authorities are facing, because if they don't have the solution, they cannot do anything. We cannot blame them. So they came to us and they said if we can really help them. And we worked for 2 years and then we came up with a very simple solution where we encourage people to do this immersion at home of yourself. So you can see yourself what is happening to the ideal, and you see that your sentiments are not hurt, everything. And we were really happy. So like, I mean, because this was a issue of a sentimental issues, we could not go with any chemicals. So we really had to look for some food grade material. So we had this ammonium bicarbonate, which is used in the bakery soda. So we could see that if you just put it in the water and then if you immerse the POP ideal into it in 2 days time, it just dissolves and it forms a fertilizer. So you can just dispose of that water in the plants at home or in your society or anywhere. And then you are left with a sludge, which is just hardly anything. You can just put it in your pots, trees, anything like that. So it was like totally no polluting or no secondary pollution generating process. And when you do it yourself, people could see that could be done. And NCL and Pune Municipal Corporation, we really worked very hard, and then people had really accepted it very well. And so this was, I can proudly say that one of my contribution to society, where people really that time they knew, or they really said proudly that, oh, we are happy that NCL is doing something for the society. Otherwise, what other research we do normally, I mean, we do a lot of research which is of relevant to society directly, indirectly, but taking that research directly to the general public, moving on the road, it's always difficult for us to explain them how it is helpful to them or how it is. But this was something which was really like, I mean, we could see that the general public was doing it. They were approaching us because this ammonium bicarbonate for almost first 5 to 6 years, Pune Municipal Corporation and NCL, we distributed free to the general public. So they were coming to us, they were talking to us, and then we had in NCL as we had created one small facility for residents around NCL where they could immerse their idols in our premises, and we were taking care of them later on. So in this case, like, I mean, really our NCL authorities and NCL director, and they supported us very nicely, and we could really take it further. And you could see that NCL's name was appearing in the newspaper and television and every time. And we were more happy because even the general public accepted this. Though initially, little bit we could see that there was some resistance from one particular group saying, no, this is against our tradition. The idol has to be immersed only in the flowing water, river, things like that. But then they could not really understand that this is not practically nowadays. So, but then when like 90%, 95% of the public was accepting, this 5% could be really ignored, and even the civic authorities, they ignored it. And we could really take it further, and now we are even ready for doing a lot of other projects, and even like not as me as in, we are also working during the COVID. That was a call where all the research institute had to respond like really quickly, to something. Normally for any research organization for or even a new research, it takes at least few years to like start from some concept to come to the conclusion. But NCL, like all our scientists, my colleagues, we really responded, and we worked on really some 4 or 5 technologies from NCL side for contributing to the COVID, call of the COVID, and during those periods. And so this is what, so we are still working on different problems and really looking for some more problems where we can really work for directly for the general public, where we are involved, and we can do that. I'm lucky enough that I really did not have to face a lot of challenges as a lady. But okay, I can give 1 or 2 examples where I really felt that, when I joined newly to as a scientist in NCL, I mean, permanent post. When when I had to meet some of our authorities, like to sort of report to them that I had joined. So first statement which really hurt me was, oh, now you have to work on a research. You know what kind of like commitment is needed from a research, but never give an excuse that you have some family problems and because of that you cannot do something. So, okay, being I was a very new at that point of time, and a very senior person was talking to me, so I did not want to respond to it. I mean, in a harsh way, but why people think that only family problems are faced by a woman and not by the men? If you have a guest at home, a man has to equally attend to the guest as that of a lady. Or even if somebody is not well at home, it is like equal responsibility of a man and a woman equally. So that was, but otherwise, I never faced really serious problems, which normally a lot of other people or other ladies they are facing. But that's what I think. Sometimes even how you respond to it comes from your family background, where I never, faced any discrimination in the family that you are a girl, so you have to work in the kitchen, or my brothers like you do shop. I mean, you do outside job or something. It was never like that. I mean, just to give example, apart from me in my family, my 2 brothers, father and my sister, all of them are electrical engineer. But when a bulb or something is fused at home, that was me who had to do that and not them. So it was like, I mean, that was sort of a culture in my family. So even when things were come, I could respond to the, like in a professional life, if I could see that somebody is commenting, I could respond to it. When I was going for my postdoctoral research to Germany, that was the first time I was going abroad. And when I was going, my father told me one thing, which I remembered always. Like, he said that, see, now when you are going, make sure that you will not be recognized outside as a Shubhangi or something. They will always say that you are an Indian girl, or you are Indian. So whenever you are behaving or you are doing something, make sure that it will not be, nobody will blame you personally as Shubhangi, but they will say that, oh, that Indian, they are behaving like that. And that really, I mean, when I went abroad and when I saw that, like, I mean, really a lot of people, they, for their own personal benefits, their behavior was such that I could really see this comment that, oh, Indian students are doing not like this, or they should not behave like this. So I really felt at that time what my father told me, that you should not be behaving like this. That is, and I always try to tell this to my students, that like whenever you're going abroad for anything, because for our research, our students go abroad for a short period of time, like few months and everything. So I feel that these things are like, I mean, because in this profession, it's always that you have to represent yourself, your institute, your country outside, and then how you present is always important. So personal life, definitely my father, because I always like learned, and I looked at him as my idol, and though he was from a different, like I'm in the profession, like he was electrical engineer and working in this thing. But whatever he told, I mean, I always had a dream when I was a child or when I was in school or college that I should be always try to be as busy as he is, even at the age of like 60 and above after his retirement. Because he was working not only for his job or something like that. I mean, even if he comes at home, he would work on something, and he tells that like, I mean, if you work anything which is apart from your routine life or routine duty, is supposed to be a relaxing for you. So I mean, you don't have to really take the time off and go for holidays only for relaxing. But even if you do something different, it is relaxing for you. And he used to always work on something or the other. So that was my in a personal life. And professional life, I would say that Professor Lakshmi Kantan, she's a good friend, and she was the director of IICT, that is the Hyderabad Institute, like here NCL, a part of the CSIR. That was a part of CSIR lab, which is located in Hyderabad, that is Indian Institute of Chemical Technology. So that is our sister lab, and then I was collaborating with her, or we were in touch with each other for last almost like more than 15 to 20 years. Uh, she retired some 7, 8 years back, so she's senior to me. But I could see that she became a director, because for a lady to become a director is not really that easy. I mean, even when she became, she's from the same field as like Catalysis from my field. But whenever we used to see a discussion about her in the common forum, they used to say that, oh, she is not a Catalysis person. She has business background. And in spite of that, I mean, she never responded to such thing, but she just proved by her output, her research, and her act. She proved that how best she is, irrespective of being a lady or man or something. She was good in, or she was best in her career, and she achieved what she achieved was because of what she did, and not any other forces. And I'm sure she faced a lot of like discriminations or a lot of things in her life, criticism in her professional life, but in spite of that, she just went ahead and she achieved whatever it is. And even after retirement, now she's a professor in ICT, and still we are in touch with each other. She tries to help me. I try to take help from her whenever is needed. And I really look up to her as one of the role model in Indian research community. Okay, first I'll say failures. Failures is like, I mean, you try to achieve something, you decide some goal, but in spite of your repeated or your best attempts, you cannot achieve that. So that is, I feel that it is a failure, but I accept it as if I feel that I have done enough and 100% of mine what I could give to solve that problem or to achieve the goal, but still I could not do it. So that is my failure. But then I'm happy with what my attempts, at least. I'm not saying that if I could have achieved that, okay, I would have been happy. But even if I have not achieved, I feel that, okay, I have given my 100%, and even I have learned. And sometimes I feel that you learn more from your failures than your success. So that is what is a failure for me. And success is not easy, and you may not get it in one attempt. But if you keep on trying till you achieve it, then you get that is a real, you call it as a success, and you enjoy the success, or that is the satisfaction you get at the end of the social impact. I said directly from the research, as I told you, we worked on one of the social problems. That is one part of the social impact. Second social impact is like we have a lot of students, because that is our workforce. And many times, at least in my group, I see, or in one of my colleagues, we have students coming from the rural background, rural areas, economically weaker areas, and they come. And when they come, many places even they have not like heard what research is, or they have not done anything. So when they come here, they are like just fresh and they don't know anything, and they are like at the lowest of their confidence level. So sometimes even talking, they will be like, even talking in English is a one difficult task for them. And if I feel that at the end of 5 years, when they go out of NCL, if they feel confident about their life, their career, about their goals and what they can do, I feel that is also the contribution which we are making to social impact which we are making. Especially for even girl students, we have a lot of girl students. Some of them become fresh, so okay, that time they don't have much of a, other responsibilities. But normally PhD is a case like where you join after masters, so you're already like past 23 or 24 of years of your age. And research is a thing which is not a short term, so it is like you really need 5 to 6 years. So by the time they finish the PhD, it is almost they are approaching 30. So many times they have a responsibility or pressure from their family for getting married and everything. But for us, the main job is like to pull them and keep them continuing with their research and with achieve their goals, to sort of like explain their parents and every time. Many times we have girls who join us after their marriage, after their kids. They have a lot of like they have to tackle with the research problems or research this thing, plus their family also they have to take care. And that time they sometimes really they are like depressed, or they feel that, oh, I cannot do both, and then if I have to take leave so many times for my family problems, how can I do my research? So that time really we had to mentor them, really we had to counsel them, and this is also one of our real major job. Many times I feel that. So that is also we do sometime. Little bit, it's not a very big problem as such, but there is some part of a section of a girls who like they feel that, oh, I'm a girl, so I should not do this heavy, I should not lift this. When you come to the research, you have to do everything. So they try to see that, okay, because we have always students, girls and boys, they are working together, research together. So everything. So sometimes I feel that, okay, they see that, oh, this is the heavy thing. I cannot work for more than 10 hours. If my reaction is longer, I cannot stay later, something like that. So even that time I try to tell them, or I mean, not me, all of my colleagues and all, we try to tell them that, no, don't take undue advantage of you being a girl. Whenever it is necessary, definitely everybody comes forward to help you, but that doesn't mean that you should take undue advantage. I mean, you give your 100%, whatever is needed more than that, it is okay. People are there to help you out, including me and other people, you know. And even in NCL, I'm a chairman of a ICC, that this committee, which is mandatory committee for sexual harassment at workplace. So there also we had to like really, when the new students comes to the NCL, we have to tell them what is gender bias, gender sensitization, how they could not do it, and even from whatever background you come from, rural, urban, everything. How so? These are the things I think. Apart from chemistry and research, these are all other aspects of life we try to teach them, and when they go out of MCL, we see that they are a better human being than a researcher. I mean, definitely they have to be good as a researcher when they go out of MCL, but this is also one of our uh, things which we do for society. I think that is our contribution to society. Decide on your goals, what you really like to do it. Just don't take up any profession or anything considering your whatever you are girl, so you have to do this, so you don't have time for doing this. So I want to go for teaching where it is a little less, I mean, what do you call it, hectic or something like that. Just take up whatever is your ambition, what is your liking, and give your 100% to it, and then you will achieve. Don't give people a chance to say that, oh, you are not doing 100% because you are a girl or you are a woman and women are like this. Don't give anybody a chance to do like that, and prove yourself best. I mean, you give your 100% for whatever you want to do. Nothing is less important or more important. Whatever you like is 100%, and it is the most important thing for you as well as for society, because only then you can give your 100% if you like something. So that's what I, and once you take it up, don't leave it in between, because now government is also giving a lot of opportunities for ladies. If you're taking a break in the career for your family reasons, they give you the opportunity to continue your career after the break. So just take the best advantage of that. Only you need to know about such schemes which are available, and just continue with your research. I mean, continue with whatever is your passion. Don't leave it to me. From now, it's like I would like to see the girls from the school going up to the professionally to their maximum number of girls, not only get get out of like either schools or leave their profession at the college or at the higher education. Because up to even like for engineering or any other things, like, I mean, up to masters, you will see a good number of girls. But once you go further in the career, which is a time consuming or which needs more time, more efforts, more resources, there you see the number decreasing. So which really, if we all society work together, and for that, I would like to see the number constant throughout the, from school to whatever profession we talk about. I mean, it is like, I mean, in our daily life, I mean, we are taking help from people. Like, I mean, if you go abroad, you have to do everything yourself. But here, we take help from many people. So, apart from taking help, we are helping giving the livelihood to so many people. So, that is also one of, like, I mean, you're sustaining other part of the society. And also in research, we are trying to do something like a sustainable development and work on something which is like, I mean, research projects which we are doing are contributing to the sustainable development of a society. And yeah, I do some sports. I go for, I do some exercise, which is definitely needed nowadays, because olden days, your household work was such that it was taking care of your daily physical exercise. But now, with all the automation you have, you really need to have a special time for yourself to take care of your health and other things. And which I definitely, I try to do that. And yeah, I always have this habit or like mentality that whatever you do, you accept it with 100% willingness and go further. So, as I said, like, after 12th, I wanted to go for engineering. I could not do it. But then when I accepted to go for basic sciences, I mean, science education, I really did it with my whole heart. And so now, if you ask me, I don't want to go back and then go for and become an engineer or something like that. So many people are dependent on you for anything. Like, I mean, if it is the students, if it be other people, I mean, in the institute, you have to do a lot of other responsibilities. And at the end of the day, when you feel that, okay, you had decided to do this and you have achieved the goal, then you see that some of your students, they finish their degree from here, they go out and then they become a good professional outside. When they go to some other institutions, and there the authorities tell you that, oh, you have sent me one of the best students which we had, which was trained under you. That really gives you satisfaction, and that's like, you are creating the next generation, best breed of the next generation, and well-trained manpower. And so these things are like, always there in the back of the mind. And it is not all work we do with our own hands. So we have this helping hand which helps us, which helps our institute, as well as which helps them to make a bright future for themselves. So our contribution, or my contribution to it, always makes me happy and work more and more towards that. Yeah, one of such thing is like, I'm really, I trust our traditional knowledge, what it is, I mean, whatever it is, I'm proud. I mean, I say that, okay, our ancestors, they know much better our olden days traditions or something which we call, they really, but then if you want to, I mean, it can be correlated with scientific reasoning can be given to it. But okay, right now, no time for that, but it will be good for me. I mean, I will really enjoy to study that and try to understand the meaning of what our older people, they have said, they have written, and that will be one of my bucket list, definitely. Same thing again, like, it is like, decide what is your liking, what you want to do in the career. Or, I mean, it need not be career, whatever you want to do. I mean, sometimes if some girl has a ambition to run a house efficiently or take care of it, but do it willingly, not because of any, because there is no other alternative, I have to do this, not like that. So, and take the challenges for whatever you decide to do. There are always the challenges. You have to work hard and be ready to work hard and achieve the goals, whatever you want. Not only that, all the students, but like many times girls, they come to us to ask for the advice. What is like, I mean, many times we go to the schools or the remote colleges in the rural areas, and we try to tell them that what are the opportunities they have and what can be done, what are the schemes available for them and how they can utilize it. even giving the knowledge or giving this information to them is many times they say that they were not even aware of it. One of the activity which I think many people needs to do it, and we are doing it partly, but because of our other constraints, it is we cannot give more time for it. But then definitely, I would like to devote more and more time for such activities.